Good evening. My name is Ty with The Headline, and I actually have two questions. One is for all of you, and the second one is for you, Mr. King. The first question is, it is understood that Michael Bond did pass away as you guys are finishing up the film, and I wanted to know, how do you think he would feel about the final project?
Well, he passed away. He passed away on our last day of filming, which was very sort of poignant. But he'd been a great sort of, obviously, a father figure not only to Paddington but to the first project and you know, and the second as well. And it was his daughter, wasn't it, Karen, yeah, who passed the family's verdict on the movie. What did she say?
She was enormously positive. I'm not. Is there a?
No, I can't remember the quote though. I don't want to misquote her. But
no, it's. I mean, yeah, it was incredibly sad. I mean, one of the things that gave me such pleasure with the first film was Michael watching it, because I'd spent about 5 years on it, and he'd spent 55 years by that time writing Paddington stories. I mean, it was so in his soul, and you know, you're nervous when you're making a film, especially for me, it was my first sort of big movie, and you're nervous for 100 reasons, whether critics will like it, whether it'll find an audience, it'll get its money back, do you ever get to do another one? But all of that I could sort of cope with. And then when Michael was watching the film, because we'd read scripts and we thought about things, but he'd never really seen Paddington properly, you know, on the screen. And I was so nervous, I just couldn't watch it with him. I was supposed to sit with him and watch it in a screening room. And I just had to leave, and I walked around the block just like a mad animal in the zoo for 95 minutes. And then finally got the call from Rosie, one of our producers, who was brave enough to sit with him and saying he loved it. And I doubled over in the street going, oh, thank goodness. And I realized actually that was the only audience I really, really cared about, because he was like Paddington's dad. And, you know, he'd lived with him for so long, and Karen, his daughter, talks about how Paddington's one of the family. They always spoke about him as if he were real. It meant so much to them. And his pleasure in the first film was, he was so overjoyed with the success of it, and that it found an audience, and that the film was true to the spirit of his creation. And it meant a huge amount to me that he was so happy. And it was very sad that he never got a chance to see this. We showed him a few sequences which he really liked, but he sadly passed away before he could see the finished thing. But I hope wherever he is, he's smiling down on our creation.
Definitely. And my second question is, it was said that you dropped out of directing the movie Wonder in favor of Paddington 2. Why is that?
It was just a really very difficult choice. I mean, Wonder's such a beautiful book and an incredibly heartwarming story, and I loved the idea of the film, and I would love to have made it happen. And I also really wanted to do Paddington 2, and it was sort of a world I began to feel that I'd created in the first film, and it was a very difficult choice. And in the end, I had to make a decision as to which one would break my heart more to leave behind. And I felt, because I'd spent so much time with the amazing cast, we are sort of like a strange, dysfunctional sometimes, but very loving family, and we all get on brilliantly. And Paddington's such a special world that I felt I had a part in creating, that I didn't really want to let it go. And thank goodness I did let Wonder go, because it's such a beautiful film, and they did such a great job. And you know, they've had a huge success, and we're all going out to celebrate their success tomorrow. So I'm very happy that it worked out well for everyone.